If I didn't listen to anybody else, what anyone else thought I should do or expected me to do, if I didn't constantly need someone else's approval or validation and trying to get that from them, what do I actually want? What is actually calling my soul in this world? What is my purpose here? Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. Happy New Year! Hello, welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy. Happy New Year! Happy 2026. Welcome to part 2 of this episode, all about you, as we step into this incredible next new year and really harness the power, the momentum of galloping into a new year and taking advantage of this beautiful time of reflection and anticipation and renewal as we step into a brand new year. My friends, we're here at the opening, at the dawning. There's so much potential. This year is pregnant with possibility. And I love thinking about it that way when we start a new year because, it's so fascinating. Sometimes we don't realize anything could happen. Anything. And I know in the past that used to terrify me, but in the unknown is where all possibilities lie. What if this is the best year of your life? Imagine that. You know how every episode we start with today's going to be a great day. Guys, what if we started this year with this year is going to be a great year? My daughter said to me the other day, we were driving somewhere. I can't remember. I think she was auditioning for a club volleyball team. And last year she didn't make it. So she was trying out for this new volleyball team. And she said to me, when she got in the car, I said, "How did it go?" She said, "It went great, Mom, but I don't want to get my hopes up." And I said to her, "Babe, what if you got your hopes up? What if we didn't keep suppressing ourselves from hoping and dreaming? What if we actually allowed ourselves to get our hopes up and felt the enjoyment and the excitement? And let's bring that energy into this year because we have no idea. And what if you went into the year with this energy of excitement and possibility and potential? Imagine how you show up to the world from that energy as opposed to protecting and fearful and worried and maybe being hesitating around taking action. What if we stepped into this with great expectation? So today, on the heels of this last episode, and if you didn't listen to the last episode, I invite you, please go back and listen because it was such a beautiful moment of reflection of the past year and a really deep question that I asked you. And now setting you up for this episode of even deeper understanding of yourself. Who are you really? What gift are you here to give the world? And in doing so, yourself, giving to yourself as well. In the last episode, we talked about needing that validation and seeking appreciation and validation and approval and just being seen by others and what it would look like to actually see yourself. And now we come to the question of, well, then who are you? What are you seeing? What are you looking at? If we don't need it from anybody else, then what actually matters to you? What are you doing here? What are you here for? What is the point? If it doesn't matter anymore what other people think, if we can put that down and realize, oh my gosh, I have no control over what other people think or appreciate or feel about me, it actually comes back to me. Ooh, this gets exciting. We step into the unknown, right? Just like stepping into 2026, we step into possibility. That's exciting. There's so much available to you here. So let's, instead of feeling intimidated and terrified of it, don't worry, I'm holding your hand here. Let's walk into this together. Let's actually be excited for what is possible. For a long time, I was just dentisting. I like that. I like using the word dentist as a verb. I was dentisting. I was businessing. I was momming. I was just doing, thinking it was the right thing to do, and then looking for lots of resources outside of me. What is the right thing to do? What is the next course I, quote unquote, should take? how should I be parenting? How should I be leading my team? How should I be getting payment from patients? And I was getting paid for it. It was working, right? Like the more I worked, the more I did, the more I efforted, the more I saw in return. I got paid. I built this house. I bought cars. I actually saw patients. My patient list grew and grew and grew. And over time, if you stick with any one thing long enough, it actually grows. And I did what other people told me I was good at. I did what made money. Those were kind of the measuring sticks I was using on whether or not I was doing a good job. But at a soul level, I was quite bereft. I had this constant nagging that I was here for something bigger. No matter what I did, I kept feeling like there was more that I was missing. There was something I was constantly chasing, that there was something I was meant for. I had this kind of soul yearning or soul calling. And what I did was the only thing I knew how to do, which was I worked harder. And the harder I worked, the more depleted I felt, the more exhausted I felt, the more I did for others. There was this proving energy that we talked about in the last episode of wanting to have other people see me and appreciate me, for sure. But there was also this chasing after something that I didn't know what it was. I just felt like I hadn't found it yet. And this isn't it. I think for my story, it was about dentistry in general. I thought dentistry would bring me happiness, quote unquote. And then I realized, oh, that's not it. So I was like, oh, it's orthodontics. And then I thought, oh no, it's actually business ownership. Oh no, it's actually speaking on stages. And I kept going, like, what is it? What am I missing? What am I missing? And what I really needed to do was stop, literally stop. Stop dentisting, stop efforting, stop working, and find some quiet time. Yes, I needed to recover because I was exhausted. I needed to actually just heal. My body just needed to repair. I actually just needed rest first. And then I just needed, on top of that, it wasn't that I needed to earn it. It was that I needed to quiet my mind and quiet all the external noise and just find space to ask myself, if I didn't listen to anybody else, what anyone else thought I should do or expected me to do, if I didn't constantly need someone else's approval or validation and trying to get that from them, what do I actually want? What is actually calling my soul in this world? What is my purpose here? And that led me on this journey of understanding who I am. What am I actually here to do? And as I'm saying this, I want you to also know it didn't lead me away from dentistry. It actually helped me find my path within it. So building on our last episode, what if 2026 is the year you finally get to see you? The year you choose to value and appreciate you, letting everyone else off the hook, needing to give you that, and being that precious soul to finally see you and to give yourself permission to be you within dentistry. Whew, what does that look like? So what actually keeps us from seeing ourselves? I mean, one of the things is just being too busy. And that's a very common theme in dentistry. We fill our days and then we fill our nights and then we fill our weekends with, maybe we feel guilty. Like, oh my gosh, I've been away from my kid all day. So tonight I've just got to give it to her. Or maybe I've been away from my family all week. And so all weekend I'm just like taking care of the house. I've ignored the house. I've ignored my family. Like now I just like pour into them. And I've had clients like that before who have gone out of their way to do like weekend trips because they're trying to create this magical experience for their families when they are really just feeling guilty for being gone from them for so long. So it's the busyness in our lives of our work and that we put on ourselves in our downtime, quote unquote, it's not really downtime because we fill it up so much, that keeps us from truly seeing ourselves. Because if you heard in my story, I actually needed to find the time to do that, to be quiet with myself and not do the laundry or answer emails or call patients back or take my kids to I actually needed space and time to ask myself, what is my gift? What is my calling? What is my love and passion? So that's one thing that keeps us from truly seeing ourselves. And the other thing we talked about in the last episode, it's this proving energy. It's this expectation and responsibilities that we give ourselves for taking care of other people. We tell ourselves, well, I can't not show up tonight. They're relying on me. I can't not show up to work tomorrow. They're relying on me. I can't take a vacation. I can't take an extended break because my team is relying on me. It's this thought that so many people are relying and depending on us that keeps us from actually taking the time and carving out the space to truly see ourselves. It's also the overgiving, the people-pleasing that keeps us from truly seeing ourselves. I mean, how can we truly see ourselves if we're exhausted and depleted energetically? Because all you need at that point is rest. You know, it's so interesting. So many clients I work with, the first thing, rest, baby, rest. And give yourself permission to rest. And we work on how can we heal those limiting beliefs that are keeping you from taking the rest you need and for asking for what you need. I mean, that's number one. That's not truly seeing yourself. That's just listening and giving your body rest. That's just giving you what you need. A foundational part of being human is rest. And it's so funny because sometimes we take the rest and we think, well, now I've taken so much rest, I don't deserve more time. It's actually the opposite. You actually now that you've rested, now you have the space to truly see yourself and ask yourself those deeper existential questions. Another thing that keeps us from truly seeing ourselves is we tell ourselves that that's boastful or bragging. You know, because I'm going to ask you some questions in this episode, and you might say to me, "Oh, Tarryn, please, everybody does that. Like that's just like blowing smoke up my own ass. Excuse my language. That's just me feeling really prideful about myself, and that feels gross and icky." And isn't it funny how in society we tell women, "Don't boast, don't show off and appreciate yourself, don't be loud about who you are." We tell our kids that, "Ooh, you got a great grade on your exam. Don't tell anybody about it. You just keep that to yourself. You did a really good job. You should really give everybody else the credit they deserve." Isn't that so interesting? Because that's one of the things that stops us from truly seeing ourselves. And then another huge one in dentistry is comparison. Comparison stops you from truly seeing yourself. When you're so busy comparing yourself to the dentist down the street, to the other moms in your neighborhood, to all the Christmas cards that came your way and the beautiful outfits everyone wore, and you show up to the Invisalign or the Align conference and they tell all the Diamond Plus providers to stand up and you go, "Oh my God, that's not me. Well, I'm not good enough." When you're comparing yourself to others, guess what? It stops you from being able to see yourself. So let's just give you enormous grace. Because up until now, there have been so many reasons why you haven't given yourself the time and space to see yourself. So let's just put that aside right now. Because right now, right here, I am giving you permission to see yourself. Right now, as we step into 2026. What better time than now to see yourself and love yourself and honor yourself just in this moment? I know right now you might be saying to me, "I don't even know how to do that." Okay, let's put the how aside. Just be here with me on this episode. As you're listening, you pulled up this episode for a reason. Let's just be present with it. Right now, I'm going to ask you, putting all the comparison aside, putting aside the boastful discomfort with bragging about yourself and feeling good about yourself, putting aside the need to prove anything to anyone else or the expectations that other people have or the responsibilities of your practice or your dedication or your integrity to your word. Put that all aside for a moment. What do you do exceptionally well? That underneath all of that, you actually are really proud of yourself for. You actually, when you stand back, you go, "Oh my God, I'm actually really good at that thing." What have others told you that you're really good at that maybe you've deflected or you've thought, "Is that really a thing?" Because everyone can do that. Everyone just loves others. I'm really good at loving others, but come on, that's how everyone should be, right? I mean, we so easily deflect that skill. That's a big skill, my friend. It's not easy to love others unconditionally. If that's yours, please recognize if the whole world just was like that, we'd be in a very different place right now. So let's not undermine your gift. What do you think is so simple? You think everyone should just be able to do that, but it's actually not true. do you love? What do you love about yourself? And what do you feel alive when you're doing? I'm going to give you some examples here so that help you discover what really lights you up. And let this be a journey of discovery. What if 2026, you gave yourself the whole year to discover? You didn't have to have the answer right now. This was just the first step towards it, okay? But we got to start somewhere. So let this year be that exciting year that like I was telling my daughter, let's get excited. Let's get excited at the potential of this. Oh, could 2026 be the year I discover what matters to me? Wow, what my true calling is. What really feels so fulfilling, soul fulfilling. Okay, I'll give you some examples. I have a client who realized, and once again, she went through radical happiness. I mentioned this at the last episode. If you didn't listen to the last episode, you need to go back and listen to the last episode. However, if you're here now, I did mention radical happiness. It's this foundational program. I've never seen anything like it in dentistry for women, just women dentists in this program right now. And it starts January 21st. It's a 10-week program. And anyway, so this client who I'm speaking about went through this program and she discovered herself in this program. And one thing she discovered that she really loves about herself and that lights her up and gets her excited is working with kids. She's really good at it. She didn't go into pediatric dentistry. She didn't go into that specialty. She is a general dentist who takes care of every age group. But man, is she exceptionally good at working with kids. She holds space for them so beautifully. She creates safety. When they're in her chair, they are so safe with her. They open their mouths. She has the biggest success with her kids. And the parents are just blown away. And she realized, oh my gosh, this lights me up. And so many of the old rules and thought patterns had denied her from really appreciating it. She would tell herself things like, well, I'm not a pediatric dentist, so I'm not really that good. She's really that good. And when she gave herself permission to see herself in that way, it changed everything in dentistry for her. Didn't mean she had to go do a pediatric residency. She's welcome to, she can. And that might be exciting for her, but it allowed her to value herself in a way that she never had before. It allowed her to look forward to the days in a way she never had before. Suddenly, she started attracting more children onto her schedule. She suddenly found a job where they were like, oh my God, this is what we need. We've been waiting for you. And now valuing herself has changed the game. Another client of mine recognized she actually loves starting businesses. She loves it. She loves business models more than dentistry. She's really good at the dentistry. She's really good at what she does. She actually is an endodontist, and she's really good at endodontics. And when she's doing endo, she really loves it, which, by the way, that is exceptional. She loves it. But she realized she really loves the excitement of business growth, of starting new practices, of noticing where there's a missing link in the business model. And she kept telling herself, I'm not really an entrepreneur. I'm just a dentist. This is what dentists do. And the moment she allowed herself to see herself for the gift that she is and to tap into that precious gift and realize, oh my gosh, I'm here to build. I'm here to create opportunities for other endodontists to do what they need to do. What a gift. What a gift to all those endodontists who want to work in private practice and not in corporate structures. She's creating those models. And here she was holding back from creating more because she thought, well, who am I? I'm not really an entrepreneur. She didn't need to take a course in business management. She didn't need to prove it or get another certification. She just needed to see herself. And the moment she did that, she lit up and she realized, oh my gosh, I can hire more endodontists to fill this practice because what I really want to do is put my focus and attention on this really sweet new neighborhood that needs an endo practice. And oh my gosh, her whole face lit up when she realized and gave herself permission to lean into the part of her that lit her up. Do you know what it was for me? For me, it was recognizing empowerment. It had nothing to do with teeth. to be honest, I never really loved teeth. I wasn't that girl. I didn't grow up thinking, oh my God, I want to be a dentist. And I love it when I meet women who do have that passion. I didn't have that. I ended up in dentistry, and you'll have to read my book when it comes out in 2026, by the way. I'm putting a little plug in for it to know the whole story. But I went into dentistry as a last resort because I was really in a bad place. My dad's a dentist, and I thought, oh my God, let me just do the thing. And so when I was straightening teeth in ortho, I was feeling really bereft of purpose. I went to a place where I was like, gosh, there are people starving in Africa and I'm straightening teeth for wealthy patients. Like something's off. And it really put me in a place where I was resenting going to work every day. And man, was I looking for appreciation and validation. Until I realized my passion is empowering others. And I didn't need to leave dentistry. I realized, oh my God, I am giving teenagers at this time in their lives that is so pivotal when they are creating a sense of self. I am giving them the tools to feel self-confident. I am literally empowering others through their smiles. Let me tell you, it changed everything for me. It changed everything. Suddenly, I saw myself in a whole new light. I valued myself. I was like, oh my God, Tarryn, you are empowering people in such a unique way. This is your gift. This is what you're here to do on this earth. You are doing it in a real, I can touch it, I can feel it way. I was seeing it in my patients. I was watching it in real time. I was seeing my gift. I'm getting just so emotional remembering that moment when I saw me. When I saw me for the first time. And I realized, oh my God, Tarryn, this is your gift. Empowering others. Helping others see the power in themselves. And I had this beautiful opportunity to do that in dentistry, in orthodontics. But it took me seeing me. Woo! Ugly cry here. My mascara I did not wear. I did not wear waterproof mascara this morning because I did not think I was going to cry. And here I am in the most beautiful moment of expression and vulnerability and authenticity to you because I want you to see yourself that way. That is what changes everything. When you see yourself for who you are, for the miracle that you are, because that miracle is there, baby. It is there. So what lights you up? I have a client who what lights her up is surgery. She is a surgeon. She is so passionate about it in dentistry. She's so good at it. And I'm so proud of her for finally seeing herself in that way. For so long, she was chasing, proving herself as a surgeon, needing people to see her. She kept feeling like, damn it, I'm the only woman in the room. Why does no one see me and no one value me? Until she saw herself. And now she's starting a podcast specifically for women dentist surgeons. I think it's actually for all women surgeons, not just in dentistry, to help them be seen. But it took that moment of recognition. She did it, by the way, in my Radical Happiness program when she realized and she finally saw herself. And now everything has changed. Everything has shifted for her. And it's interesting how when we see ourselves in that way and we realize what our gifts truly are, and we learn how to value ourselves, how to hold the boundaries, how to hold the sacredness of that gift, how to energetically protect yourself, how to delegate the parts that you don't love to do to the people, and then actually receive it and actually sit back and let people help you in the parts that you don't love to do so that you can stand in your truth and your gift. Man, life shifts in such a beautiful way. Relationships deepen. Your intimate relationship, your marriage improves. Your relationship with your children, with your mother, everything shifts when you see you and you value you and you start showing up in that gift. I want to share with you another client because you might be saying, well, I'm none of those, Tarryn. I have a client who recognized her gift is teaching in dentistry. She's a dentist. She's an associate. And she realized, oh my gosh, I love teaching. And she actually applied for 1 day a week to teach in a hygiene program near her, changing everything for her. Everything. She's showing up differently. She's starting to value educating her patient. She is a teacher at her core. She was sent to this earth to teach, to be that guide, to educate, and she is exceptionally good at it. And she's a dentist. And it has colored everything for her. I think we limit ourselves so much. We tell ourselves dentistry has to look a certain way, and we lose ourselves in it. But you get to carve that path. You get to lay the foundation of who you are in dentistry. And you are exceptional. What do you do exceptionally well? What lights you up? What do you love to do? What is calling to you, not from an energy of needing to prove it to others or impress others or people please? And really, we know what that is. We know the difference. I want you to allow yourself to explore it all and allow yourself to fumble through it. Maybe you try something, you're like, that's not really it. What if 2026 was the year that possibility opens up to you? And I'm inviting you now to just hold that expectation. Remember the words I said to my daughter after her volleyball tryouts. What if you allowed yourself to get excited about 2026? What if you allowed yourself to get excited? And hey, if you need some support, hit me up. I'm here for it because this is what I do really well. I empower women, specifically in dentistry. This is my gift. I'm here to empower you. And if feeling like stepping into the power of you in 2026 feels delicious and exciting, and you want to get excited about that, just connect with me, please. All my connections are in the show notes. Find me at thebizofhappiness.com, bizofhappiness.com. Let's set up a time to talk. But at the core, I want you to get excited. I want you to step into the potential of 2026. What if this was the year you finally felt good? Because when you feel good, that is when you can do good in this world. That is when you step into your fullness and your power. And the world is waiting for you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.